Let me show you what's going on. I have this Lamborghini Centenario that I'm working on, and I have a new paint that I'm going to try on this. And this car is for a great channel subscriber, the Kustomizer Diecast. So I'm not going to show you the complete build from start to finish because I've got another one that I'm doing for him. And anyhow, this is just showing you the paint process and a little bit of work that's going on with it. So I've already got it stripped down. I hit it with black Autoborn sealer, which the paint that I'm going to be using has to be applied over black for it to work. So I'm doing the body, I'm doing the base, and the two doors in this particular color. And what color is that, you may be asking? It's something I've never tried, but I've always wanted to try. So that's what we're going to do. It's Spaztic's Colorshift paint. And if you look at it, it goes from green to purple to teal. Never used it before, don't know what to expect. And you really can't find that much information online about it, except for these paints are for the RC hobby field. That's what they're geared toward. And with the RC hobby field, you don't paint on the outside, you actually paint on the inside of the body because it's a clear injection molded body, and then you paint it on the inside. That way, as it gets beat and banged, it doesn't get scraped up on the outside. But with that stated, we're going to start with the base, make sure everything's working okay, then we'll move on to the doors, then we'll move on to the body. So I'm going to go ahead and blow everything off, that way it'll be ready. Alright. Make sure there's no dust on anything. But we're going to give this bad boy a try and see what we can do with it. So first step, as always, we got to mix it up, shake it up. It's pretty thin, so I don't think I'm going to have to do any thinning with it. Just need to get it mixed up really good. But I really could not find any information on it hardly, except, like I said, it's for that field. And nobody really tells you how to spray it or anything like that. But as you can see, it's water thin. So there's not going to be any mixing needed or thinning. So all we can do is give it a try, right? So let's open it up. I think this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to be shooting it at about 22 to 25 psi, which is probably too much. Oh yeah, we don't need to thin that. No, sure, we don't need that. And that's probably way too much paint. But we're going to give it a try. And I'm going to start with it, like always, tack coats and then build it up. Alright, got that. Put it on a little thicker now. We have our tack coats. Get the wheel wells real good. It looks like it's going pretty good. One way it looks green, turn another way it's a different color, and turn away that way it's a different color. So I think it's going to work pretty good. And you can already see it starting to work. This is going to be one of those cars you have to see it outside in the daylight to really understand how it looks. Let's do the doors now. As with the body, tack coat to start with. Uh-oh, about dropped it. Move on to the other door. Now we'll hit the body. And I hope this goes on like it's been going on. Because it's been doing great. Let's find out anyway. I'm gonna let that sit, hit the base one more time, and then we'll hit the doors one more time, and then we'll hit the body really good. Oh man, this looks so good. I wish you could see it in person or on camera really good, but I know you can't. This looks so good. Man, yeah, that looks great. The only thing about Colorshift paint, you know, when we paint stuff, we sit here and we rotate it to see if we've got it covered. And with this stuff, you can't, because one way it looks like it's covered and one way it doesn't look like it's covered. But wait until you see the finished product with this thing. Oh my God, it looks so good. Hit the doors real good. Man, I wish you could see that. Alright, let's hit this body one more time. Get under the spoiler. In the door areas, in the hood vents, underneath the front lip, and a nice wet coat. Oh man, this looks killer. God, I wish you guys could see this. Holy cow. And I'll take you over in the sun in a second and try to show you, but man, that thing looks so good. Alright, so as promised, here's a quick look before I take it inside and cover it up. Look at Cure. One way it looks kind of goldish, tilt it, and it looks green, and it kind of looks purple and violet. This stuff is something else. So you can see the hood is kind of, I hope you can, it's kind of violet while the top of it's green. And then as the sun rotates around, it changes colors back to green, to purple, to kind of a goldish looking color. This stuff is wicked cool. I love it. Got up under the spoiler real good. I coated everything inside the wheel wells, inside the door openings, the A pillars, the B pillars, everything. But just look at that. The best way to see it is on the top. Starts out green, goes to like a teal color, then a gold color, and then back. That is so cool. God, I hope that's coming through on camera. I love this. I actually love the paint. But that's how you use Spazstick's Colorshift paint on Diecast. I couldn't find anything on it per se, and it's real easy, but the main thing is to keep your air gun moving, because the metallic bits in there that allow it to change colors settle the longer it sits in your airbrush or the longer it sits in your gun. So you do need to keep it shaken up. But as you can see, I mean, it changes colors great. Looks beautiful. I love it. And on this body style, it's just sexy as all get out. I hope that's coming through for you. Man, I really like it. But don't be scared to try it. I just wanted to try it because, like I said, it's hard to find any information on it except for the RC hobby, and that's on plastic. I wanted to do it on diecast, and as you can see, it turned out wonderful, wonderful. I had my airbrush set on about 22 psi, so about 22 to 25 would be perfect. Just keep your airbrush moving so that the pigment and everything and the flakes that's in it don't settle and stop up your airbrush. Because I noticed every once in a while mine would kind of, like the title says, spats, kind of spaz out. But I would take it and I just give it a quick little shake like that, like to do a side brush or something, a side fan, and it would clear it right up and it'd start spraying perfect again. So that's the main thing, is just keep everything moving and you'll be fine. Works perfect. 22 to 25 psi. You don't have to thin it. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. But like I said, all the pigment and everything does settle down on the bottom. I did not, and I had no issues. It didn't really stop up, it just stopped the flow for a second, but like I said, just move it real quick and it started again. No big deal, no big issues. So that's how you spray Spastix Colorshift paint. I highly recommend it. Goes on really smooth, goes on really flat, no issues. Be sure to use it over black though. Has to be over black. Alright, I was sitting here working on the base. Man, this paint job turned out amazing. But I was like, well, I need to put the wheels on it. So I started putting the wheels on it and wasn't even thinking, I wasn't recording it. But these are the ones I decided to go with. I started to paint them kind of a fluorescent color, but I didn't want to take away from the paint. I wanted it to actually accentuate the paint. So that's why I just left them the brown like they were. So all I did was made me some axle tubes, cut the original axles in half because original axles are just tougher and last longer than the aftermarket ones. So test fitting, make sure it goes in okay. If it goes in okay, then we glue it. Now what I have started doing is I like to put just a little dab right in the hole. I kind of force it in there. Then I let the axle catch that and push it in. Like so. Make sure the axle's in pretty good ways. You don't have to go all the way, just most of the way. Because if you go too tight, it won't want to roll. And then I come back and put just another light dab on top of that. Like so. And then if I'm in a rush, I'll use the Insta set, but I'm not in a rush because the car is all but done. So now all we have to do is the other side. Again, make sure everything fits. And it does. So we'll take that back out. Dab our glue right in the hole. I actually put the tip down on it and then I squeeze the glue in. Take the axle. Push it in as far as I want to go. Again, I go a pretty good ways, but I don't go all the way because I want it to be able to roll freely. I got this one just a hair too close. It rolls, but just not as freely as I want. And now we have a rolling chassis. And it rolls really good. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And I tell you what, no matter how many times I do this, I can't, for whatever reason, sometimes one of the daggum tires just does not hit. It's like everything's cockeyed or something. But anyhow, got that fixed. Now we're going to assemble it. And this is where it gets a little complicated because it has moving part doors and I don't remember how they go exactly. Going by the looks of it, there is a left and a right. and I didn't pay attention to which one came out which way. Oh Lord. Alright, got that in there. Make sure I wipe off the glass from the inside, make sure I don't have smudgy prints in there from my biscuit grabbers. Now we're going to install the interior, which goes just like that. But this is what holds these pieces. So now I got to figure out if there's a left or right. There's a 1 on this one. There's a 1. There's nothing on that one. Alright, well, let's look at the doors and see if that tells us anything. That's the passenger side, that's the driver's side. Alright, so let's see, this is that side, and it looks like that it would need to be higher, so that's the lower one. So that would be for the other side. So now we've got that figured out. Now we have to weave them in and get them into position. Whew. Man, that was a tight fit, and that is aggravating to do. Let me tell you what. Very aggravating to do, but we've got it in, got it to where it works. Now we can put the doors on. Again, that's that side. Yep, that side right there, it is. Push it all the way on, and it shuts like it's supposed to. Opens like it's supposed to, shuts like it's supposed to. Now after we test to make sure everything works like it's supposed to, we can put the base back on it. And then we can all but call this bad boy done. Well, for those that don't know what this car looked like when we started, this is how it looked. This is a photo of it. And I really wasn't going to do a video of it. That's why I didn't start it as normal. Plus, you know, everybody knows by now how to drill a car apart and everything. So I figured I would start in a different location, which was the primed process. And that's where we're at now. And then, you know, we moved on from there, and it was a pretty cool cat looking casting, but this is what we have now. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Thank you for watching.